Hi, my name's Ellie Caldwell, and I'm a chartered coaching and clinical psychologist based at Shore Psychology Community Interest Company in Edinburgh. I specialise in supporting the performance and well-being of busy professionals, and today I'm going to be talking about what can help you sleep better when you're stressed or busy. Having a lot on at work or home can be stressful or worrying. It can also be energizing and exciting. But either way, being in a busy, keyed up state can really affect our sleep. Disturbed sleep is often one of the first indications that we're revving the engine constantly, and we're at risk of eventual burnout if we're not careful. Poor sleep also affects our performance, meaning we're running on empty just when we need to be firing on all cylinders. The good news is that periods of poor sleep are really common and they're not going to kill you. There are ways you can help yourself sleep when you're stressed or busy, and these can also help prevent sleep disturbance becoming more of a long-term problem. So, how can we help ourselves sleep when we're really stressed or busy? My first set of tips are about before you get to bed. So, the crucial first step is to set a boundary for yourself around sleep. And this means deciding what your resting window is going to be, the time of night when you will be in bed and prioritizing rest over everything else. You need to set this as a clear boundary for yourself. Within this window, say between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m., it's your resting time. No work or busy mental activity is allowed. No planning, problem solving, reviewing, or worrying. This time is totally protected to allow you to rest. Then, in front of this boundary, you need to create a buffer zone. It's just not reasonable to expect your brain to be able to go straight from 100 miles an hour down to zero and immediately let you sleep. You need to build in a buffer zone to let you transition down through those gears and cruise gently into your resting window. So, for at least half an hour before your resting window starts, your focus should be on letting your mind and your body wind down. Find a peaceful activity that works for you, something engaging enough that your mind doesn't keep straying back to busy thoughts, but not too stimulating. For example, this might be reading a book that you find soothing, maybe some light stretching or yoga, listening to calming music, or practicing a meditation or relaxation exercise. You might also need to initiate a parking system to protect your boundaries. So, this is a place to note down any important thought that comes to you that you will worry about forgetting if you don't write it down. Like if you suddenly remember an email you need to send someone or a task that slipped off your to-do list. Note it down as briefly as you can and engage with it as little as possible. You can use whatever works for you. So it could be a notebook by your bed, or it could be sending a quick email to yourself at work. The next set of tips are things to practice within your resting window. So firstly, your emotions. While it's completely normal and understandable to feel frustrated or anxious if you can't get to sleep, these emotions really tend to keep you awake. Remember your boundary. Your resting time is for resting, not worrying. And this includes not worrying about sleep. So, what can really help with this is to deliberately switch your mindset from trying to sleep to allowing rest. And this mental shift can reduce anxiety and frustration, which creates an emotional landscape that is more likely to allow sleep to happen. The next tip is being disciplined with your thoughts. So we can understand our thoughts as having two categories. The first is spontaneous thoughts that show up uninvited, These thoughts are like events that happen in our minds. We don't get to choose them, they just appear. And usually they're about whatever is occupying us or worrying us the most. So it might be something like, those figures not adding up is a real problem, or that report is still overdue, or even, hey, I can think about my exciting new project now. The second type of thinking is thought as an active behavior. This often involves reacting to those spontaneous thoughts and disappearing off down a rabbit hole or spiraling off out of control. Or maybe trying to change, get rid of, or argue with your spontaneous thoughts. So this might be something like, what else have I forgotten to do? What are people going to think of me? Or I have to sleep. I'm going to be useless tomorrow. Stop thinking, brain. Now, we can't avoid the spontaneous type of thoughts, but we can learn not to engage so actively in the behavior of thinking. And the first way to do this is to just allow any spontaneous thoughts to pop into your mind and hang around or come and go as they like. And secondly, to repeatedly decline to engage in follow-up thoughts. Really persistently, patiently reminding yourself of the boundary you set around your resting window and telling yourself, this is not the time for busy thinking, this is the time for rest. You do need to accept that in a busy period of your life, your mind is going to be busy, but you can choose how you engage with it. Just keep calm and gently remind yourself of your boundaries. However many times you find your mind spiraling off in thoughts, however far down the rabbit hole you get before you notice you're doing this, and however many times you have to do it. So there you are, lying in bed with a busy brain that wants something to do, while you're stubbornly refusing to let it try and come up with disaster scenarios or solutions to all your problems. So my next tips give your brain something more appropriate and useful to focus on. These tips are about how to calm down your body when it's in a keyed up state. So instead of paying attention to your busy thoughts, you're shifting your attention to down-regulating your breathing and any activation in your muscles. So there's evidence that creating a slow, smooth, steady rhythm in our breathing slows down the heart rate, giving an immediate calming effect on our minds and bodies and our emotions. And doing this regularly also has a longer term benefit of improving heart rate variability, meaning how flexibly our body is able to adjust our heart rate between active and resting states. To use this technique, you need to intentionally invite your breathing to be smooth and steady in rhythm, breathing calmly and smoothly in and out, and finding a slow rhythm that feels comfortable and sustainable for you. And keeping your attention on this for a few minutes. And when you've regulated your breathing a bit, move your attention to systematically scanning through the muscles in your body, relaxing them as you go. So starting with the very top of your head, gently invite your muscles to release tension, relax, and feel soft and heavy. Don't demand that your muscles relax, just invite them to relax as much as they want to before moving on to the next bit. Work slowly and gradually through your body, moving from your scalp to your forehead, your eyes, mouth, jaw, the back of your neck, your shoulders, your stomach muscles, all the way down to your toes. And if you're still awake, then check back in with your breathing and regulate that again. And then start your body scan again from the top. Calm, patient persistence is the key. So those are my top tips for sleeping better when you're busy. but there are some other habits you might want to consider. The first is setting up your bedroom to be a place dedicated to rest and sleep. So don't work in bed, and ensure your bedroom is pleasantly cool, dark, and quiet. Using blackout curtains, earplugs, or a white noise machine are some options to consider. Caffeine can affect sleep even in people who feel like it doesn't. Research shows that caffeine can reduce sleep quality, shorten total sleep time, and delay deep sleep, even if you don't consciously notice it. People may still fall asleep or feel unaffected, but the pattern of your sleep, like the amount of time you spend in restorative deep sleep, can be disrupted. This means you might wake up less refreshed, even if you thought you slept fine. The Sleep Foundation recommends you avoid caffeine for at least 6 hours before bedtime, and even longer if you're sensitive to caffeine. Alcohol can make it feel like you're getting to sleep more easily, but it disrupts sleep later. It reduces key stages of your sleep cycle, as well as making you wake more often during the night, which you might or might not remember. And it causes lighter, more fragmented sleep in the second half of the night. It also affects how efficiently you breathe at night due to its muscle relaxant effects. You should avoid large meals before bedtime, but having a lighter meal or snack which contains complex carbs and protein could help your body produce some of the main hormones that improve your sleep. There's evidence that having a warm bath or shower about an hour and a half before bed helps you sleep. This is because the increase and then gradual cooling in your body temperature signals to your body to get sleepy. And you've probably heard there's some evidence that blue light from screens like your phone disrupts sleep. So you may want to limit screen time before bed. Research says it also matters what you're watching, so how alert that content makes you and how long you're looking at your screen for. So simply putting your phone onto night mode with a yellower light setting might not be enough to counteract the stimulating effect of screen time. And what else can you do if you're struggling with your sleep? The UK-based sleep charity has lots of information at thesleepcharity.org.uk. And you can visit our website, shorepsychology.uk. So that's shorepsychology.co.uk, where you can sign up to our newsletter to keep up to date with what's happening at Shore. You can also ask for a free infographic of the tips that I've provided today. You can request a free chat with one of our senior clinical psychologists to discuss how we can help you. And you can find out about the range of wellbeing and performance improvement services we offer for organisations and teams at Shore. And keep a lookout for more free resources from Shore aimed at helping our communities thrive.